PZP stands for porcine zona pellucida, and it is an immunocontraceptive drug that is made from pig embryos. And PZP, once it's injected into a mare, will make her egg sac reject sperm so that she does not get pregnant. It usually works for about a year. In the summer of 2002, our local BLM, they were approached about being in the fertility control project. They needed 3 areas, and the little booklist was selected, and Gerald Thigerson, who was the wild horse specialist at that time, jumped right on it. He thought it was a great idea. So there were 3 areas: the Pryor Mountain Range and McCullough Peaks at Cody, Wyoming, and the little booklifts, and we all took part in that fertility control project. So we met in the summer and talked about it. We had to have an emergency gather in 2002 because range conditions were horrible and horse numbers. So we gathered in July, and J. Kirkpatrick came down from Montana, and we had chosen our 25 mares. When we got those mares in the trap, he gave them their primer shot because the first year they need a primer and a booster. Then in November, one of the gals who was working for the USGS on this project, she and I flew up to Billings, Montana, and Jay trained us how to dart. And Jim Dollarshell of the BLM, who wasn't the wild horse specialist then, but became the wild horse specialist soon after that, he went up with us, and the 3 of us got our dart gun training. And then we came back, and Jay made us practice for a week, and then we got right to work. We started darting, giving those mares their booster shots, because you can give a booster shot 3 weeks after the primer, and so that was not, the time issue was not, the time factor was not an issue, so that we got right to work, and then we finished boostering those mares in the spring of 2003. And I think Josie thought, well, they're not going to do anything to me because last week, you know, I wouldn't let them get 30 yards, so this is well within my comfort zone, and I popped her. And that was the beginning of the long shots. Everybody started practicing at 40 and 50 yards after that, and we have done many mares at 50 yards and some mares over 50 yards. So you just have to practice and be a good shot. There were some people in the club who were concerned about that very fact, that it was going to hurt the horses and that they didn't want them sterile and it wasn't natural. And once they came to see, it's just like a bee sting. That's what they feel, and that's all. It doesn't harm an unborn fetus. For instance, if a mare is pregnant when she's darted, it does not harm that fetus. The mare will have a baby that's healthy. The ramifications of not using PZP here on our range are pretty severe. We would be having 40 babies a year, and that would mean we'd have to have gathers, probably every 2 years. We had been going 3 years, but at 40 babies a year, we were starting to have them every 2 years. And that's a huge impact on the herd. It upsets herd dynamics. It's expensive for the taxpayers, and it's just so much better if we can narrow it down to 10 to 15 babies a year and leave these horses alone otherwise. I think one of the biggest advantages of PZP, in my eyes, is that it helps the mares have a better quality of life. I've been keeping pretty good records on the horses up here for about 39 years, and I've noticed that if a mare has 9 babies in a row, then that's a death sentence for her. She will die. And so the quality of life, if you start having foals at 3, which is what most of our mares used to do, and sometimes even as 2-year-olds, how long do they live if they have 9 in a row? They have short lives, and they're pretty miserable lives. So I'm really pleased that we use PZP to give these mares a break and let them have a better life.